Okay, I'm live. Yay! It worked. Well, hopefully. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we are. Now that I'm on, huge view here. Hey, no, can you hear me too? Give me 1 second. I'm going to go get some cards. I was going to grab them before, and I have, technology and me are making friends. I don't know what I did different, but here we are. So I'll be right back. I'm just right here, but got to get some cards. Okay. Got them quick. Yay, me. I figured it out, maybe. Hopefully. I don't know what was so complicated about that, but anyway. Good. Glad you're here. All right. Awesome. Yes, I saw the light come on the camera. I'm like, I don't know what happened. Collecting myself. All right. Welcome. First time, of course, there's got to be something. And I came on early, so all good. Anyway, my name is Hicks-Forrest, and I am here on my first time live on YouTube. Very exciting. Shifting the energy. I've been in my Facebook group for a long time. So it's been a conversation now for a minute, and then suddenly we're like, oh, it's time. So yeah, you know that feeling when something's aligned? I kind of get that roll. I'm like, I just want to throw up right now. So that it never do, of course. It's just the same. All right, so I had to collect myself, take a breath, drink some coffee. And good morning, welcome. I'm super excited to be here, and get the people that are not on Facebook, because I know there's many of you that are not on Facebook, or maybe just don't want to use Facebook. I don't know. The topic of today, I was asking myself the question, of course, what's the topic? And then I was contemplating this conversation I had with someone recently, and it was just in the observation and even in my own life that we create our own life. What I was saying to myself is we're not a victim. I thought, I don't really want to say that in the title. So we are the creator of our own life. We create our own life based on our frequency that we're putting out there. Many of us, choosing my words, many of us are very, very unconscious in our creation. Yes, we are very unconscious. That's why we do the things on repeat. Why do I keep experiencing this? Why does this keep showing up? What's going on in my world? Why do I keep picking the same kind of men in my relationships? Why do I have the same circumstances? I'm cleaning my glasses. I got all smudges on them. Why do I have the same circumstances showing up over and over and over? Because we're unconscious. It's a pattern. It's very grooved in our brain. And when we begin to shine a light in the dark, so we can see and start to examine our beliefs and the things that we've been lifetimes, then we can begin to shift it. Many of us have poverty consciousness. My great-grandmother was born in the Depression. My grandma she was in the Depression. My grandma was 1928, so right there in that frame. So that comes with my generations. Plus my own lives. So it's really deeply grooved. How come I can never get ahead? Why is it happening to me? Why is it my fault? How can I get it different? Thank you for the hearts. I love the emojis. How can I choose differently and even when I'm choosing differently, or I start to visualize something different, or I start to repeat some affirmation, if I don't actually believe it and feel what that feels like to embody it, it doesn't matter. It won't change. Affirmations do nothing if we don't feel the truth of them for ourselves. I'm a millionaire. And your brain's like, yeah, whatever. No, I'm not. The obvious statement and what it looks like out here is not that. And if I keep focusing on that, then I'm going to keep getting the same results. Same kind of relationships. I called myself, I had a broken picker. I was constantly growing and evolving. So ultimately, I worked through that, but I didn't understand it for a long time. I didn't know how to pick different. If I met someone that was really nice and kind, it wasn't exciting enough, or he wasn't abusive enough. And that's all unconscious. I'm consciously not going, oh, I'm going to pick someone who talks like shit to me. I'm not going to do that. But the unconscious doesn't feel I deserve anything better than that. So until I start to shift those unconscious beliefs, that's what I keep getting, because that's the energy I keep putting out there. And it's all about frequency. It's all about energy today. It's always been that, but we're much more in the conversation. Thank you for that. We're much more in the conversation today. It's much more open today, where people are talking about, oh, I really vibe with that person. We have our little lingo that goes on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love emojis. They're so fun. It lets me know that you're hearing me. So thank you for that. Yes. Questions. What are your questions about this? Because it's big. This is a big topic, and it takes commitment. It takes real commitment to looking at, how do I know what triggers me? How do I know how to shift it? How do I know what I believe? How about if I just look at what I'm judging? If I'm looking at you and I'm having a judgment about you, that's my mirror. I am your mirror. All I do is look. Look at what you're attracting. What are you attracting to you? Are you attracting the same kind of people? Are you attracting people who are just nasty, foul people who have really creepy energy? I was over at my friend's last night, and we were in the house. They were doing a little barbecue, my neighbor, and I think it's her, I'm not sure, sister-in-law or somebody came in the house, but the rest of the family was outside drinking. And she came in, and I was like, it's like, ew, this really aggressive kind of energy. And I just like kind of go like this when she walked out the door, because it didn't feel good. Right. So we all know that frequency, and I don't attract those kind of relationships so much, but I love my friend she's at the, I don't know what it is, but her stages of cancer. And so I go see her quite often, and she invited me to come over. So I hang out with her. I didn't go outside and hang out with family that's out there doing their thing. I don't care. It's not my place. I don't have a judgment about it, but I could feel the energy when she came in the house. I'm like, yeah, let me just put a little bubble for myself so I don't have to carry that. And remembering, I am a long, long time sober, so I remember what it was like. And it's every once in a while, it's good to see that reminder. And I was talking with her about that, and she's like, I can't even imagine me like that. I'm like, oh yeah, queen of people pleasing, a queen of codependent, abusive relations. I mean, I just did the thing because I didn't know different. And then I got sober. So once I got sober, because that gave me a different way to live, and a way to really dig in and see how was I creating this? How am I creating it? I was sick a lot as a kid, especially in my teen years when I was having a boyfriend, high school sweetheart, very toxic. Sick a lot. I missed a lot of school because I was sick from that. And somewhere in there, I had an idea. That was weird. It said, warning, my internet was unstable, so it was reconnecting. Okay, keep going. So say hello. Where are you from? Where are you all? Anyway, I was in these toxic relationship, and I was sick a lot. And then when I was 16, he broke up with me. And of course, I'm drama queen, want to die. And 2 days later, I had a car accident, and they didn't know if I was going to live. So just sharing that to show you how I'm creating that. I'm not a victim of that. I created that. Glitchy, yeah. Glitchy. Okay, good. Thank you. I created that. Now, at 16, I couldn't have said that. I didn't know that quite yet. But as I kept going in my life, and at 21, I began my journey on self-help books. I was always seeking something. I got sober when I was 27. So I started to piece it together and know my life. I'm the creator. So when things happened, and I'd have an accident, or I would get sick, or I would be so angry because I knew that I was doing it. I didn't know how to not do it. I didn't know how to not create the sickness or the accident. I had 3 major car accidents. And so every 10 years, I had some kind of major accident, starting when I was in 1973, when I was 6. So it took me a minute as an adult to start to look back and go, what, how, why, how am I creating all these things every 10 years? I went, oh, it's an ends in a 3 and it's a 10. So I will look up 13, numerology, karma. I was trying to exit the planet. I didn't want to be here, and karma. And I was creating it. Now, I wasn't consciously going, I think I'll have a car accident. I think I'll fall out of a tree and burst my spleen. I wasn't doing that. But in that unconscious state that I'm unaware of, I'm creating my reality. And every one of us do it. So if you walk around going, why is this happening to me? Well, how am I creating it? Right? There's no, I'm not a victim. You're not a victim. There are no victims. You can see a little glitchy. And we begin to look or continue looking, we begin to shift and we begin to change it and transform it. And it's incredibly powerful. It's really empowering to go, oh, I'm the creator. Okay, well then let me examine what's underneath my creation and pay attention to the dialogue happening in my head, because there's always dialogue going on in my head. It never stops. It's always there, right? So when it's there, pay attention to it. What is it saying? What's the unconscious, constant, unconscious meaning I'm not paying attention and I'm not aware. When I become aware, I start to look and go, oh, I'm asking myself, what's wrong with me? Because I feel some certain way. How come I don't have any money? Why is my bank account empty? Well, what am I doing to create that? Or uncreate it? Or unlearning lifetimes of patterns. Lifetimes. Vigilant. Pretty vigilant. And then something will show up. Oh, I have. You have. We're going deeper. This energy is pushing all that stuff to the surface. Really old stuff. People talked about old people in their dreams. People haven't thought about in years or seen in years. They're having dreams, which is bringing up. I have memories that pop in randomly, and I go, I haven't thought about that person in 30 years or 40 years. Like, why now? Because it's showing up. If there's any residual energy to clear, it's showing up to be cleared. That is all. Becoming conscious. Be conscious of your, excuse me. Swallowing air. Be conscious of your creation. If you don't like what you're creating, look at what's the belief? What's the belief? Do you believe that you deserve crappy abusive relationships? Do you believe that you have to struggle every single month to pay your bills because you don't know where the next dollar's coming from? Or you have barely enough? When am I going to get ahead? I have someone that has, and when am I going to get that is the question. When you decide that you're worthy of it, when you decide that it's for you, when you decide that I deserve something else, or because I'm here, not because there's something wrong. It's not about I have low esteem. That's a mindset, right? And that's a belief. We're worthy and we deserve because we're alive on this planet. Period. End of story. Human beings, we're thick, we're dense, and our mind can be the same. Meaning physically we're thick and dense. So when we're creating things, there is a buffer. There's a little time lag, right, in the buffering of things because we're human and it's thick. Thank you for the hearts. It's thick, so it takes a minute. Some things are pretty instant, but it could all be that, or it could all be really hard because I might be saying one thing, there's still another belief to examine. How many of you done that? We've been belief this new, we're just keep at it and keep at it, and then we're like, fuck it, it's not working, and we stop. And it could have been tomorrow, it could have been 5 minutes that miracle was going to happen, and we quit before it happened because it wasn't on my timeline. I'm guilty. I'm so guilty. That's why I say that and raise my hand, because that is me. So I committed to this poverty. Poverty is one of mine. So really, it runs deep in my family. You have to work hard. You have to earn it. You have to work harder than everyone else. All the teachings, all the masculine teaching. When it's really about how we be and the frequency that we put out, and then we take that inspired, desired action behind it. And I can't tell you how many times I go, because I'm on a different timeline. You're likely on a different timeline if you're not getting the results when you've hired someone or they promised you these things, but all these other people are getting them and I'm still not getting them because I'm not on that timeline. It's taken me a long time to realize that. I'm not on that timeline. Our energy does not match. Some of it could be the poverty. Some of it's that I'm not meant for that. I'm not meant to follow the structures of other people. I'm meant to create my own and take that action from a space of being and the space of inspiration. And I can feel that in my bones. I feel the truth of that. I can't tell you how many things I've followed and done and attempted to get whatever they have. Some things work. Some things work halfway. When I'm clear with me and I feel in that, stepping in that desire and that inspiration, then I can take the action and then I get results. They might not happen when I want them to happen, but I get results. So I've spent years learning how to be in a relationship. Years and years and years. I was 18 years sober when I met my husband. 45. We were both 45. And we've done all the serial monogamy, we had very similar timelines, very similar relationships even, until we finally cleared that energy. And we still had some things to heal in our relationship, but they were pretty minor. We didn't have any major baggage that we were carrying. And we had the conversation. We're both very codependent. So if we're doing those things, let's bring it out on the table and let's talk about it so we don't continue that pattern. But it took 45 years. Well, from the time I was in relationships, really from the time I was born, because I didn't know how to be in a relationship. I was very needy, very empty, and very manipulative. People pleaser. In relationship and how to ask for what I need. And people look back at who I was, I'm like, I don't even recognize that woman. Who is she? That's like a whole other book of my life. Now I'm in this book, and now I'm starting the next book. That's how it feels to me. So when it comes to wrapping it up to that poverty thing, when it comes to the poverty consciousness, that runs so deep in my family and in our culture. So that was a relationship thing, but I did many things to learn how to be in relationship and how to be effective in my relationships and how to have boundaries in my relationships. And you know what comes with that? A whole lot of self-worth and self-love. It just kind of comes together as we start to do those things that say to ourselves, I'm worth this just because I am. Not because I had to fix something that was wrong with me. Thank you. Thank you. All right. What else is there? I'm not. Oh, they don't quit before the miracle happens. Commit all the way in, 100%, and then do it until you get there. And if what you're doing is not quite working, then adjust. It's all about the feeling, and our feeling is the frequency that the universe reads. So if I can feel, what does it feel like to feel abundant, to feel rich, to feel like a millionaire? What does it feel like? I can make it up. My imagination knows no other thing. It's imagination. But what it does is generate the feeling. So I was working with someone about wanting to be married. I said, well, then imagine, like the key vision is to imagine being proposed to. And what's the feeling behind that? I'm loved, I'm cared for. And I generate that for myself. And then there's no other choice but for the universe to deliver that to you. Because that's the energy that you're putting out there. And then we get the doubt. The mind kicks in and goes, oh, no, that's not. And that can't happen for me. Who am I to be rich and free and abundant and have an ability to help people because I can? Who am I not to? Staying the course, right? Keep generating the feeling of that. Generate the feeling of being in a relationship or being rich or having money, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's not any of that. Maybe it's simply feeling okay with me, feeling comfortable in my own skin. Maybe it's vibrating so high that I can go anywhere I choose in the world and I'm not affected by someone else's energy, being the highly sensitive empaths that we are. I felt that. I felt that resonation. I'm all about helping others learn how to master your energy so that you vibrate so high that all the other stuff is just out there. It's not coming in here. And I'm not adjusting my frequency to the environment. I am the adjuster of the environment. And I know what that feels like. So that becomes really easy. Unless I've been triggered and then I'm off the rails. Right? And then I got to go take care of myself. Thank you. Thank you for that. Let's see. Let me go with this one. I'll just pull a card while I'm coming toward the end here of this deck. I have a lot of decks. For those of you that are new to me, I have a lot of, I love cards. One's flying right out there, the Holy Grail is the card. Inner discovery. It just validates and it confirms what I've been saying. Inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. Ooh, let me back it up there a little bit. There we go. Just trying to focus on. Yeah, the Holy Grail. Right? It's remembering that we're sacred. It's not finding it. It's remembering. Finding sacredness. Everything is sacred, and it's remembering that you're sacred. You're sacred. You're sacred just because you're here. You're sacred because you're the creator of your life. You're sacred because you're Mel. You're sacred because you're human. Because you chose to be here at this time and place. It makes you sacred. In that inner discovery, you are what you seek. So if you're seeking love, be love. If you're seeking freedom, be freedom. If you're seeking security, be security. Be safety. Become what you seek. If you're seeking love, be love. Be love to yourself. Be so loving that you have the universe has no other choice but to deliver love to you. In whatever form that is. It could be friends, but if you're looking for a partner, it'll be a partner. But it'll be love. What is love for you? Additionally, for a long time it was codependent. It was, just be the doormat, and that's love. Let them do whatever they want. That's love. Because I was so desperate to be filled up. And then it's evolved. Excuse me, that is not love. That's abuse. I'm abusing myself through them. Because what they would speak to me validated how I felt about myself. They were the voice that was in me. Yeah. So be that. Be what you seek. If I am looking to be rich, if you will, then I get to be rich inside, from the inside out, abundant on every level. That's the frequency that we emit. So become that. Thank you. Thanks to the hearts. Become that for yourself. Become your own best friend. Remember, whatever we're saying or judging about someone out there, I'm saying it about me. Because it's all me. But if I'm speaking it about you, or I'm looking at someone like, I just don't like them. Well, what is that thing in me that I don't like? What are they showing me about me that I don't like? Their child, and what are you really angry about? They disrespect, they this, they that. And I said, well, that's because they are you. And you get to see you and how you've behaved in your life. Ouch. Clear reflection. Especially with our children, but it's anyone. So pay attention to how you judge people, and then take a look at yourself. Because then you'll know what your frequency is that you're putting out there. And where we have room. If we're triggered, we have judgment, all it's showing us is that we have room, where we have room to heal. And what needs healing. It's clear. It's showing us right there. This is what still requires some healing from you. It's that simple, and don't make it mean something really horrible about ourselves. Then we have questions. Y'all are so quiet. Thanks for being here, though. I'm really grateful. But you have any questions? Every time I get a new deck, I'm like, oh, this is my new favorite deck. Most of them. I'm going to pull one from this one before we wrap it up. What we've forgotten. Do you see how many people don't like themselves? I trigger people often. Yes, yes, yes. We do see how many people. So it's if we're coming from a place of observation, when we say that, then you see how many people don't like themselves. Am I observing that or am I judging it? Those of us that get our, well, we're highly sensitive and we are very light in our 3 cards. Well, let's see. The first one, I'm going to go with the first one here. Ego. 28. It's a 10. New beginning. So this is the ego. We're just going to go. This is what's moving out. You see the long corridor there? Oh, yeah, our ego. It can be a long walk. And we can make friends with our ego. Our ego is not leading us. It's not leading us. Our ego is our ego, and it's here to help us. So many, I gotta get rid of my ego. You're not going to get rid of your ego. It's part of being human. We learn to operate from the heart and then let the ego be the servant rather than the master. The ego is the mind, the personality. When we're coming from the heart and we allow the mind to be the servant and not the master, then we move out of the ego always being in charge and controlling things. Because the second control room goals is like, let's go with the, let me look at that. Can be a thing from the ego. It can also be from that soul place of the control room being our soul purpose, the soul that's pulling us toward what we're here to do. And they're not always goals, but they can be. I don't like to define the goal per se, but we can have an end result that we're looking to get to, or we have a big vision. So it can be that. This one. It can also be that what I just said about, see, it's trying to focus on where do I focus? Because there's a big space here. And then the last one, which is, so I go, this is the, when there's 3, I go, that's the crazy thing. That's a number 6 too. So there's 2 number 6s there, 15 and 42 when you're adding them together. So we're moving in that space of higher love. The deeper our commitment to ourselves, the greater the love expands. And the higher love is becoming unconditional and infinite, where it's not coming from a space of ego and needing things from people to conditional love. As many of us have been taught, most of us have been taught. Love is conditional, based on how you behave, how you act, how you show up. And that's not actually it. Love is a way of being. It's a state of being. It's an energy. So stepping into that higher love, hey, another space and energy or not, it's up to us. But you define it for you because it's continuously evolving. Love is love. But when we look at the higher love and we're looking at, so good today. Oh, good. Oh, you couldn't comment. Huh, how strange. Well, thanks. Thanks for being here. Now you can comment. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Technical glitches, because I was having, first time I got on, there was no sound and no video. So there we go. Sure. It doesn't matter. I'm glad you've been here and that you could comment. Really defining what it is for you. Write it out. And if you have this idea like where you are, then where would you like to be? That's the direction that we're moving. And if you're really great where you are, awesome. But often there's room to grow. So I find that it helps me to define it, and then I can lose the expectation I have from someone else, because then they can know. Right? If we have some way of how we experience love and how we expect it to be experienced from someone else, but we don't tell them, we're setting them up to fail, and then we're just mad at them and have resentments. So if we can define it, here's what works for me. Here's my love language. Gary, I can't remember the whole, that's a great book, 5 Love Languages. So Anyway, take that and be loving in the world and experience greatness. And I feel like when I just stay in that space, that infinite love space, all of the other things just start to fall into place. So thanks for being here for my first live stream on YouTube. I will be here next week. I'll create an event. I'll actually post it. I'll figure out how to post it on YouTube. Ask me, hey, you're going to be on YouTube now? I'm like, so felt appropriate. Independence Day. Yep, here we are. Thank you for the emojis. Thank you. Thank you. I will see you here next week. And let me see how to do this. It's all brand new, right? Let me see. All right. Namaste. Have a great weekend. Thank you.